Hey, it's day 16, and we are talking today about being God's friend. It's kind of remarkable to say, I am God's friend. But that's what Scripture tells us. And when we think about that, I have a lot of friends. I really do. And there are certain friends that I tell them everything. And there, some of my friends tell me everything, right? And that's how our relationship with God is. We are at a place in our relationship, He puts us into position to where He will tell us everything. He doesn't withhold any of His secrets from us. He tells us everything that we need to know in order to live the life that He has provided for through Jesus. And so in the scripture that we have today, it's in John 15:15. It says, I no longer call you servants, because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I've called you friends. For everything I learned from my Father, I made known to you. So Jesus isn't withholding anything. He's not holding anything back. He's going to share with us, just like our friends do. Our really good friend, like our best friend. Our friends, how many you have in your circle. There are certain things that I tell certain people, and there are certain things that I tell other people, and then there's a couple of people that I just tell everything to, right? And so when I was doing some research about being God's friend, the context of which Jesus is telling them this is they're in the upper room together, and He's telling His disciples that to love each other as He loved them, and that His commandment to us was to love, and that there was no greater commitment or commandment, or there was no greater love than to lay your life down for your friends, right? Even in this, Jesus was kind of giving his disciples a heads up that, look, I love you so much, I'm going to die for you, right? And He says, I've called you friends, so much so that He died for us. And he was giving them the heads up before it happened, right? Sometimes we'll call your friend and say, hey, just get sideswiped. This is what's going on in my life. I want you to know. I don't have time to talk about it right now, but hey, this is what's going on. So then the scripture goes on to say, you are my friends if you do whatever I command you, right? So there's a fruit to having a relationship with Jesus Christ. There's a fruit to being a Christian. There's a fruit to being all these I ams, right? When we live in these things and really know them truly down in our spirit, then the fruit grows. It's not something we have to push out. An apple tree doesn't grow to make an apple. It just happens because it comes in its season, because that's what an apple tree does. And we as Christians also produce fruit, because that's what Christians do when they're pursuing Jesus and pursuing being a disciple and receiving the identity of who He's given us. So we follow His commands because you do what your friend wants, right? I have some beloved friends, and I have one friend, and because she just loves to go wherever I go, whatever I want to do, she's up for it. She's awesome. Whatever I want to do, she just says, yeah, let's do it. And she's willing to do it with me. And that's how Jesus is, right? And that's how we should be with Him. Hey, wherever you're going, Lord, I'm in with you. Let's go. Let's do it. And I've dragged my friends into some really strange places because I'm an informationaholic, and I love to check things out. And so I'll say, hey, you want to go? And she'll say, yeah, let's do it. So that's who the Lord is. He's our friend. And Tenney, who is a commentator of old, said, the friend is a confidant who shares the knowledge of his superior's purpose and voluntarily adopts it as his own, right? So I've also attached a video this morning about being a friend of God. Let's think about that. I mean, sometimes we think about His holiness and His majesty and His power and the greatness of who He is, but we really have the right, because He said so, that we're His friends. So we can talk to Him, and we can interact with Him, and we can go with Him as a friend. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow.